good morning. This is Tex, and this is Tex Talks. I hope you're having an awesome day. Today, I wanted to go into the idea that I had mentioned before called ruts in the road, which on that video, I talk about how you have habits. And from those habits, you keep doing the same thing over and over again. And if you want to create a new habit, you have to change. Well, there's a little bit more complex side of that kind of behavior. When we see things, how we see our world, as we're looking around, as we're assimilating information, reading books, maybe you have a particular interest, you're worried about depression or anxiety or OCD or your kids or health or whatever it is you have on your mind. You look for books that help you with that subject. You also may look for videos. The only thing that I caution people is I'm glad you're doing it, and I want you to do those things to get more information, to understand as you make decisions about life, you gather information. Also realize, though, that your brain works a whole lot like the internet does as far as training you, moving you. You've probably heard that when you go on the internet and you look for something, the computer knows you look for it, and then it sends you a whole bunch of information. I always tease people, if I even dare to look up the price of say a new computer chair, suddenly I'm deluged with new advertisements by people with computer chairs trying to sell me computer chairs. I'm like, oh, what a coincidence. No, it's not. You look for it, they give it to you. The same way with most of the social media sites. When you do those shorts or quick, the thing registers how long you stay on a video, then it sends you more of those videos to try to get you to stay longer wrapped up in the machine. Your brain does the same thing automatically. They're using a natural system that your own brain functions and does. When you notice something once, you notice it a lot. My first car was a Volkswagen Beetlebug. Yay, meet meet. So when I got it, I suddenly realized how many were on the road and where they were, and I had not noticed them like that before. Your brain works that way in so many areas. And where you have to be careful is if there is a negative thing, or maybe even something you're extremely interested in, you become locked in on target like a guided missile. And you notice that and you don't notice a lot of other stuff. It's kind of akin to that idea that the fight, flight, or flee part of talk about that in psychology and how people react to things. Your brain will lock in, your vision will lock in on one target, and everything else is fuzzy. And that one target's there. Even though your eyes see everything, you focus in on one small area. It's also called the flashlight effect. If you were in a dark room and those kids, you play with those flashlights and you flash it on the wall, you see what's in the light. You don't see the other things so much, or you don't focus on them because they're kind of faded. The same thing is referenced if you read The Cave by Plato, when Socrates tells the story about how the people in the cave are focused on the things that are presented to them. They don't see the greater world outside. Again, that's why I encourage you to go back and read different stuff and read The Cave. If you're not going to read, I get it. Watch the videos. The thing is, your brain tends to see what it wants to see and filter the rest out. Now, what effect could this have? Well, this is where people will run across something, and it's almost akin to hypochondria, where they will think they're sick and everything makes them sick, or they have everything. You also have this tendency to get so locked in on a diagnosis or what someone tells you that you singularly focus on that one thing and you lock everything out. This is also how what's referred to as evil seeds or black magic talk. There's a reference in Don Miguel's book, The Four Agreements. If somebody comes up and says, oh, you got that look. My friend had that look and he got very sick. He got cancer and that's how he looked. And then suddenly you focus and you start aligning your world around, oh my God, this is me. And it happens with diagnosis and it happens with the information. And you tend to filter out. If you don't believe me, look around the world now. So many people all over the place are focusing in on what they believe they want. People with similar ideas, and this is where the whole group mentality starts. Everyone who has the same kinds of ideas start floating together and they say, I must be right because everyone agrees and everything is happening that agrees with what I already think. Well, that's because you're moving towards that group and you're in that area, that state of mind where you see what you want to see. And this is for everybody. This is no one individual. Everybody will tend to do this. It's your brain quickly trying to put everything in place. The old joke about categorizing of information, one of my favorites. Devil is walking with a little minion. They see man up in front of them, and man reaches down and he picks up knowledge. And the little minion's going, oh my boss, look, 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 oh, this is bad, this is bad. Mankind now has knowledge. And the devil starts laughing. He goes, yeah, I know. And he goes, why are you laughing? Isn't this bad? He goes, no, he's going to organize it. And this is what we do naturally. We want to organize. We want things to have a place. We want to rearrange nature. And nature is basically organized in its own way, which is an unorganized organization. And we want to realign that to our thinking. And we also do that with everything else in our world. It makes us feel comfortable when we know things. And sometimes we don't really know. We think we know. So basically, we're back into that grand illusion of thinking we know what this is and thinking this is, and then we feel comfortable and then we hang on to it and we exclude information that disagrees with us. So I ask you, please, when you go out into the world and you're listening, reading, you're gathering, hopefully you're picking up a book on philosophy every now and then. You're picking up a science book, maybe on psychology, a book on nature, art, all kinds of interesting things in the world. And as you do that and you bring them together and you notice the connections, you also notice that your mind will tend to steer those connections sometimes. And that's a good reason for you to have people that are different than you to reflect back to you. It's comfortable to have lots of people that agree with you, but more important than anything is to occasionally have people who disagree with you. That's why the great rulers would have a fool, because the fool reminds them they don't know as much as they think they know. I hope that helps you, and I hope it gives you an idea about, okay, let's open up our field of vision a little bit and let's take a little bit more in. And when we're assimilating information, realize there's a lot of information we don't have, and look for that. Broaden your horizons. You have an awesome day, and I hope everything goes well for you. Thanks much, and I'll talk to you later.